everybody before expectations, from my point of view.
So basically, the positioning with which you start a ROI planner or any kind of SaaS that you start, or any kind of small product, is like it's very, very niche at the beginning, right? It's very, very niche, right?
Yeah, as you mentioned, it could be used by search engine optimization agencies, or by freelancers, or by consultants, or by somewhere else. But I focus right now on one segment. So I don't. Maybe in future we'll be able, to scale and penetrate into new market segments, but that's definitely not a goal for existing situation and the growth
Okay,
stage.
so you basically okay, so you get a target audience within your ICP, which is like very, very small, and then you go with that, and then after you have the MVP, you can move forward and see who gets the most value with your product, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I was wondering, how do you apply the full funnel marketing strategy to ROI planner? How would you apply it to ROI planner?
The same like I'm doing with clients. So basically, I describe it as the first step. So until the product is validated, we can't, all of your experiments, all of your marketing activities should be devoted to product validation. You need to be very clear what is a validation benchmark or milestone, if you will. So once you'll pass it, you can start, once you'll see that product passed through the validation test. I don't want, to publicly name what exactly I have right now as a validation milestone, but I just provide the idea. So once we pass the validation pass and we know that users want to pay for this product and they start using it, and we got a positive reply. So I implement initially, before any lead generation, I start working from the bottom of the funnel with client success. So I want to get referrals, I want to get some case studies, and once it also belongs to the validation milestone. So how many positive testimonials we will be able, and referrals we will be able to generate. And next step, what I'm doing, I have some data. I start defining market segmentation. I'm working on market segmentation. I define targeted verticals. I have some data. I define ideal customer profile. I run customer interviews. I always recommend to do customer interviews to collect the data, what influences the buying process, challenges, goals, buying committee structure, channel they're using, etc., etc. Then I find different, also during the interview, I ask about the channels and the communities where I can promote the product in a native way. So I start defining the channels for my promotion. Next, I sit down, I use what, Noah Kagan, I learned it from him, I assume 10 years ago, or maybe even more. So it's called quant-based marketing. So because we don't have lots of mostly I will be self-employed marketer for my own product right now. I can't hire anybody at this stage. So I just sit down and I know my availability, how much time can I devote to marketing. So I make list of experiments and prioritize them according to for me initially it would be acquisition. So what experiments can help me to reach out my acquisition goals? So next step, at this point, I avoid sales. So we won't have sales model, but it obviously would be a sales step. So we'll apply product-led growth framework, where users make their own decisions. And my goal is to create a great onboarding. That's something we are working on right now. And besides the onboarding, lots of users won't convert by default, maybe it's just some generic number, but in SaaS, in B2B SaaS, usual conversion rate from free trials to paying customers is something between 3 to 5%. But it's just it depends on the product you are selling. So, but what I wanted to say is that most of leads won't convert. Some people will sign up just to see onboarding and see what you have created. That's true. Especially marketers and consultants will do it. So your goal is to set up disqualification criteria, who you want to disqualify and delete from your database. Then you need to define potential engagers or brand promoters. Some people, who have the audiences or active users of some social media, so they can never buy your product, they can never use your product, but they can spread. So you need to build totally different relationship with them, and you need to identify your customers. If they're not ready, you need to create lead nurturing sequences. Luckily, I have done it for Get Leader, so I can easily leverage, repurpose it to our plan, and people will be still nurtured, but instead of hiring me as a consultant, they will get special offers or just reminders to to extend their free trial or book a demo call or whatever. It depends on their progress with lead nurturing sequence. As I mentioned, client success I implemented beforehand. So I start implementing client success right now, so we will have it. And that's how we apply all of the full funnel activities. So yes, but what I mentioned, the best part for me, I have assets, I have existing audience, and I had a product idea, it didn't appear a year ago. So I had this idea 8 years ago. I had an existing need. So all what I did for the past years, I created an audience for this product. So that's my suggestion. Keep building, keep focusing on building community, or if you don't have time, just find a good community where your target audience hangs out and become an active, engaged member. So you'll devote more time to this community and you'll be able to connect with people. So it would be much more easier to find your first beta users that will help you to spread the word, to provide frank feedback, and maybe even become your customers.
Gotcha. Okay, so I was wondering, so you are two founders, right, in Array Planner? It's you and Tomasz. Yeah.
Yes, Tomasz Jankowski.
Tomasz Jankowski. How do you guys split the job, the work? Because as you said, as we discussed before, you have the revenue. You don't have any more, product. You don't have sales. You have revenue. So everyone is focused on revenue. How do you guys split this, or how do you organize this?
That's a great question. So my idea was to find a co-founder who will take from me all the tech stuff. I don't want to deal with tech at all, with code. I'm not a technical guy. I have zero technical background. So I wanted to find a guy who will be in charge of all of the technical process. So we just divided to our company, or let's say our plan, into two different directions. He's in charge of all technical UX, UI, product, etc. I'm in charge of marketing, business, and sales. And that's very simple. Of course, we have common calls with developers, and we have a very clear alignment that product team doesn't do anything with the product until business provides a feedback and needs from the customers. So you also probably faced it multiple times. Lots of companies just build product because some guys have technical background, so they even don't think about the needs. They think, okay, that's a great idea, I will just create this product, and they start thinking who will buy it, and nobody wants to buy it. So that's crazy part. And as well, I faced several times when companies, they have a technical department. So technical department just creates some features, and nobody ever talk to customers if they at least need these features. So in our case, we have a very clear alignment that our development works only on features that were, validated with users. So users voted for them and told, this is what we want to see in our plan. So my goal is to collect all of this, information, transfer to technical department. Then Tomek, he prepares mock-ups. He prepares the processes and workflows. We discuss them, we approve them, and then we only send it to the development team. So that's how we operate.
Okay, one more question that came from this. So you mentioned the product-led growth, and we actually discussed the book, and we both agreed it's a great. How are you applying? Maybe you already said that. How do you apply the product? What is that? Bowling alley, or how was the name of the framework? How do you apply the bowling alley within your product, and how do you involve Thomas in this whole thing?
We didn't apply it yet, so we are working on it right now. Because just yesterday, our MVP was finally released. So we moved all of the features, all of the features from the development server to product server. So right now, I assume while we are talking, Tomek is playing with user pilot and just prepare an onboarding. So we considered several solutions, building, creating a manual onboarding. So basically coding it or using a third-party tool, and at this point decided to stick to third-party tool because it allows us more flexibility. We can easily change different stuff. And as I mentioned, so we have created a tech stack, so user pilot will help us to create in-app onboarding, and we have if elaborating more on bowling alley, if you will, we want to create tooltips, we want to create product tour, and we want to create a checklist with necessary steps to get to move our users as quickly as possible to aha moment. Next one, we have an alternative to intercom. This product is called Froged, and I love it, honestly. And it helps you. It's like a live chat. It has the similar functionality as intercom, so it helps. You can have live chat and you can send behavioral emails. So we will have behavioral emails triggered based on different actions of our users. And as I mentioned, you probably know I'm power user of ActiveCampaign. So I have an existing lead nurturing sequence which will be repurposed to our plan. So the folks that won't be converted after the free trial, they will be added to the nurturing sequence, which is not sales at all. So it's like nurturing more about the procedure and demonstrating the value of not our plan solely, but of the revenue-driven marketing and full funnel B2B marketing. So once they will get buy-in, this software just simplifies the transition, So you don't need to use Excel spreadsheets, Trello, Notion, or whatever, and then thinking about where are my experiments, what worked for us, what were the results, etc. So that's how we are implementing product-led growth framework right now.
Makes sense.